Good evening, I'm Britt Clennett in Hong Kong and welcome to ViuTV News. Coming up on tonight's show. Chaos in Zimbabwe as the country's military seizes control but denies it's staging a coup. The curtain closes on Trump's marathon maiden tour of Asia, with the president saying he's returning home proud. Pro-democracy lawmakers left frustrated after the Bar Association says Beijing still hasn't decided on how to use the Basic Law to implement the Joint Immigration Plan. Well, we begin tonight with political turmoil in Zimbabwe, where a succession crisis has plunged the country into chaos. The local military has seized power, claiming it's targeting criminals around President Robert Mugabe. Graham Mackay reports.
After 37 years under President Robert Mugabe, Zimbabwe's military has seized control but denies it's staging a coup. Hours after armoured vehicles were spotted closing in on the capital Harare, soldiers stormed the state broadcaster ZBC early on Wednesday, broadcasting a live message to the nation.
The situation in our country has moved to another level.
The army has outlined what it calls a mission, but it says the 93-year-old president isn't the primary target.
Comrade R.G. Mugabe and his family are safe and sound, and their security is guaranteed. We are only targeting criminals around him who are committing crimes that are causing social and economic suffering in the country in order to bring them to justice.
Rumblings of a coup that could oust Mugabe began just 24 hours after the head of the army, General Constantino Chiwenga, threatened military intervention to end a purge of his allies from Mugabe's government.
We must remind those behind the current treacherous shenanigans that when it comes to matters of protecting our revolution, the military will not hesitate to step in.
The core victim of the purge axed Vice President Emerson Mnangagwa, who was kicked out last week in what's widely been seen as a move to clear the way for Mugabe's wife Grace to succeed her husband as president. The US Embassy in Harare is warning staff to stay at home due to political uncertainty. The self-styled grand old man of African politics has led Zimbabwe since its independence from Britain in 1980 and is widely celebrated on his home continent. A stark contrast to the West, where he's seen as a dictator who's ruined one of Africa's most promising economies and is willing to resort to violence to stay in power.
Well, Donald Trump said he returns home very proud after the longest trip to Asia, by an American president in decades. Speaking on board Air Force One following the 12-day tour, Trump told reporters he'd sold $300 billion worth of equipment and that the figure was likely to go up to $1 trillion worth of stuff. But there are reports saying there was little appetite for Trump's America First policy and his bilateral approach to deals, because it allowed the US to bully other countries. For the president, who's been dogged at home by low approval ratings and a probe into Russian links with his election campaign, the deals are seen as an important prize to flaunt back home.
Very proud of it. From a standpoint of security and safety, military, very proud, and trade, you will see numbers that you won't believe over the years. Because over a period of years, they will be treating us much differently than they have in the past. People were taking advantage, countries were taking advantage of the United States, more than just this region, but the world. And those days are over.
Also back in the US are 3 UCLA basketball players who were detained in Hangzhou a week ago on suspicion of shoplifting. The trio, LiAngelo Ball, Cody Riley and Jalen Hill, tried to shy away from the cameras as they touched down in LA airport. Trump said he'd approach Xi to get them released. Well, meantime, US Attorney General Jeff Sessions says he now recalls a meeting with then-candidate Donald Trump and his aides, where connections to Russia were discussed. That's despite earlier testifying he was unaware of any such contact. Addressing the House Judiciary Committee, Sessions strongly denied lying to Congress. He says he couldn't remember details about what he said during the March 2016 meeting, which included then Foreign Policy Advisor George Papadopoulos. Last month, Papadopoulos pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI about his links with Russia. Court documents say he offered to arrange a meeting between Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin.
After reading his account, and to the best of my recollection, I believe that I wanted to make clear to him that he was not authorized to represent the campaign with the Russian government or any other foreign government for that matter. But I did not recall this event, which occurred 18 months before my testimony of a few weeks ago. And I would gladly have reported it had I remembered it, because I pushed back against his suggestion.
Well, after weeks of chaos and filibustering, LegCo has passed a non-binding motion on the joint immigration arrangements for the Express Rail link. Secretary for Justice Rimsky-Yun says the government respects public views on the matter, even though there was no public consultation. Pro-Democrats had pushed for more details, but a request by 3 lawmakers to speak before the debate concluded today was turned down by LegCo President Andrew Leung. Yun defended the plan to lease part of the West Kowloon terminus to the mainland, saying it's complied with the basic law. A retired judge of the city's top court has waded into the co-location controversy. Henry Litton said similar arrangements were also made for the rail links in Europe, and he can't understand why the proposal has sparked a debate.
This is an arrangement to facilitate travel between Hong Kong and the mainland. Isn't that right? Now, where does constitutionality come into an arrangement which makes life easier for Hong Kong people? I don't begin to understand.
Meantime, the Bar Association says Beijing hasn't decided on how to use the basic law to implement the joint customs and immigration checkpoint in Hong Kong. It comes after Association Chair Paul Lam met Basic Law Committee head Li Fei in the Chinese capital. Li Fei is in fact expected to arrive here tonight and is due to attend a Basic Law seminar tomorrow. During his trip, he's also expected to visit the West Kowloon terminus for the high-speed rail. Coming up next, the latest from the world of business. And let's start with investor darling Tencent, which has smashed profit expectations. Third quarter revenue is up to almost $10 billion compared to about $6 billion this time last year. Profits are up 69% to $2.7 billion, up from $1.6 a year ago. The Chinese internet giant is riding the success of games like Honor of Kings and a rapidly expanding advertising business. It's also reporting WeChat's growth at almost 16%. Revenue from its online advertising business soared 48%. Well, there was actually a big sell-off of Tencent shares ahead of the earnings report, part of a rocky day on the local market here. The Hang Seng Index plunged more than 1% to slip below the 29,000 mark. Shares were dragged down by the resources and industrial sector as fears grow over an economic slowdown in China. PetroChina lost more than 3% after a slide in world oil prices. Moving to the local property market, a waterfront residential site in Chengsha was sold to a consortium of 5 private developers for $17.28 billion, making it the most expensive plot in the city. More than 1,200 flats could be built at the site, with a total gross floor area of nearly 200,000 square feet. Sinoland, Shema Property and WeLock Properties are among the 5 firms that offered a price higher than the market's expectation. Promising signs for the Japanese economy. It grew faster than expected in the third quarter to post its longest period of uninterrupted growth in more than a decade. GDP was up 1.4% on the back of strong exports. Consumer spending did drop for the first time in 7 quarters. Analysts expect this to be temporary, given the economy is near full employment. Lawmakers in the UK began debating the fine print of Britain's divorce bill with the EU, and already a row has broken out over when exactly it will leave. It's entering a critical phase, but there seem to be some big questions hanging over Theresa May's landmark legislation. Jacob Greaves reports.
Absolutely, but to my... If the devil is in the detail, then this process could be hellish. Theresa May's landmark Brexit legislation is in a critical phase.
This is an essential bill in the national interest.
British lawmakers on Tuesday beginning the battle over the fine print of the EU withdrawal bill.
Move amendments 43, 44 and 45.
In total, 186 pages of amendments have been tabled. The government has sold the bill as simply copying EU legislation into British law, but critics warn it's a power grab, allowing ministers to change laws without Parliament. This after the Brexit campaign fought on the notion of taking back control. This debate just the first of many set to stretch into December. The government's real challenges are set to come in the latter stages. Rumours abound in the British press about a group of Conservative Party rebels preparing to vote with the main Labour opposition on certain points. And throughout the 8 set debates, the government will never be far from defeat.
Catastrophe.
The Prime Minister's weakened minority government may need a small number of Democratic Unionist Party lawmakers to make up the numbers. A particular crunch point will likely be how much of a say MPs will get over any Brexit deal.
A big thank you for the Prime Minister, please.
All the time, Theresa May's leadership, as well as the legislation, will be in the spotlight.
Now, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who hasn't received an email from a scammer, whether it's a long-lost royal uncle leaving you his fortune or spoof accounts tricking you into handing over personal information. The fact is, they exist, and they're really annoying. But one New Zealand company is fighting back using AI and some very long-winded conversations to troll scammers. Scarlett Svidnovich reports.
Hey, I'm Rescam, an artificially intelligent chatbot designed to fight scammers by imitating victims.
Meet the artificially intelligent email bot helping you troll scammers.
I'm anyone and no one.
As far as scammers will know, I'm you.
NetSafe, an online safety non-profit in New Zealand, have built Rescam.